take for granted our access to water. Yeah? Oh, wait, yes? Thank you. I need to feel you today, Bloomington. Okay, so we take for granted our access to water. And we take it for granted because we think that it's available for us all the time to drink, to use it for food, to use it to clean, and to help us bathe. So in a sense, you could say that water is our best friend, right? Yes. Thank you, Bloomington. So, but the thing is that we have a very complicated relationship with water. You see, we have this complicated history when we're talking about swimming and water safety. So when we think about swimmers, who comes to mind? Oh, wait, I heard it. Michael Phelps. I've met Diana Nyad, I will tell you that. But we do think about Diana Nyad, but we also think about this guy, Michael Phelps. We think about Lily King if we're here in Bloomington. But the thing is, when we think about these people, we think about someone who is gliding on top of the water, moving their arms, kicking their legs. But my question to you is, do we think about these swimmers? Do you know who these swimmers are? No. They're the swimmers who were first, second, and third place in the 2015 NCAA Division I Swimming Championships. 100-yard freestyle, first, second, and third place. And the reason that I am telling you of the significance is that this is the first time in NCAA history that Simone Manuel, Leah Neal, and Natalie Hines, 3 black women, were first, second, and third place. Maybe this is the image that we should be considering. Yes. Thank you. Because this is the image we should be considering. You see, swimming has a history. It's rooted in Africa. Did you know that, Bloomington? No. It was rooted in Africa. And in his 2018 text, Dr. Kevin Dawson's Undercurrents of Power, Aquatic Culture in the African Diaspora, it is he who takes us there. He shows us an illustration like this, an 1884 illustration of Dongla men taking British men across a body of water. You see, it is black bodies swimming and white bodies struggling. Let me say it again. It is black bodies swimming and white bodies struggling. You see, it is Dr. Kevin Dawson who also reminds us that it is the Europeans who tell us about African women who are described as ebony mermaids. You see, because it is he who says that they were swimming it is the Europeans who describe them as being so effortlessly swimming on top of the water and through the water so effectively and so efficiently. Maybe this is our history. Because let me tell you something, Bloomington. Let me tell you something. Before swimming was a competitive sport, before it was considered a leisure activity, it was an everyday activity in Africa. Just sit with that. And when we think about our swim story, we have to understand that our roots, our swimming roots, not only have they been forgotten from enslaved people 400 years ago coming to America through the transatlantic slave trade, there was a history there before, but we have forgotten about our relationship with water. We have forgotten about our best friend. You see, here in America, we are often reminded about this image, the one that was taken by Horace Court in 1964. This is taken in St. Augustine, Florida, during the St. Augustine movement. This is at the Monsoon Motor Lodge. And it is the lodge's manager who was pouring muriatic acid upon civil rights activists. This is a part of our story. Maybe this is not the image that you're thinking of. Maybe you've been told about the story that was done in 2009 at the Valley Club in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where we have Black and Latino children who are part of the Creative Steps camp program. And as they were going to their camp at the Valley Club, the club rescinded their agreement after one day because adults complained about the presence of Black and Latino children in a pool after one day. 2009. So you may be thinking, okay, maybe it's not so bad, right? Look at this image. One from 2016. Now you may be asking yourself, what's the big deal? Take a little bit closer. Look at who is cool and look who is not cool. This is a poster that was done by the American Red Cross. By the American Red Cross in 2016. And it resurfaced. But let me have you look a little bit closer. It is the Black bodies who are not cool, and it is the white bodies who are cool. You may be saying to yourself, come on, Tiffany, it's a cartoon. You said it, not me. But let me tell you something. This image right here, it sends the message that I don't deserve to have water as my friend. It says that I do not deserve to have the same friendship that white bodies do. Even though the American Red Cross has come back and has issued a public apology and works with organizations like Diversity in Aquatics and other Black and brown professionals, practitioners, and scholars, the question is, where have we gone in society? See, let me tell you a story. And this is really hard for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna be real for a minute. So my wife and I, we were at our pool complex, and we were just playing around, having fun. She kissed me on the cheek, and I'm splashing. It was a blast. And the pool attendant told us to stop, and then said that we needed to leave. Now, mind you, not only am I a USA swim coach, but I was a lifeguard, I was a lifeguard instructor. I have never heard a pool rule like this in my entire life. That same day, that same exact day, 3 to 4 white people came into that pool, and they had open containers of alcohol. Now ask me, did they get reprimanded? Did they get asked to leave? No. The policing of Black and brown bodies in pools happens on the daily basis. And the unfortunate part about it is that it is these experiences that invoke fear. Fear so much so that my mother was afraid of swimming. Now that's my mom. She was beautiful. And let me tell you something about my mom. My mother did not know how to swim. She did not know how to swim. And she made my brother and I take swim lessons. And at the age of 5 to 6, she was like, you know what, I'm gonna put you guys in swim lessons, my brother and I, and we're like, okay, we have no choice. And we go to our swim lesson, and as I'm swimming 25 yards with my swim instructor, my instructor turns their back, and I go underneath the water. Thankfully, my mother is watching everything, and she goes down and she pulls me up out of the water. And I protested because I did not want to go back to the pool. There was no way you were going to get me back into that water. But do you know what my mother said to me? She said, "No, you're going to learn how to swim." And swimming became my friend, because over time, I became a competitive swimmer. Became a competitive swimmer so much so that my brother and I not only swam all through middle school, all through high school, but also we became lifeguards. My mother was so excited when we became lifeguards. So much so that she would say to us, "I can't wait until we go on that cruise." And I'm like, "We're going on a cruise? Okay. We're gonna go on a cruise, and if the ship goes down, if the ship goes down, you can not only save yourself, but you can save me too." Now, I'm looking at my mom like, "Okay, mommy." But let me tell you something. My mother never got the opportunity to learn how to swim. My mother never learned how to swim, and she would never get a chance to meet my best friend, the water. So let's get real. Let's talk about those statistics, those dreadful statistics that we know about. The World Health Organization has cited that 360,000 people die annually from drowning worldwide. In fact, drowning is the third leading cause of unintentional deaths worldwide. Third. Now let's look here in the United States. Right here, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, they did a study from 2005 to 2014. They were able to find out that African Americans between the ages of 5 and 19 years old drown at a rate 5.5 times higher than their white peers. And the hardest part about that is that children who are the ages 11 to 12 die at a rate 10 times higher than their white peers. Let's just sit with that. So, what do we do? What is our call to action? Our call to action is this. Number one, we have to implement programming for children to learn how to swim in grades K through 12. Broward County, Florida has got it. That is what they are doing. Number two, we have to acknowledge our swim story, our swim history. We have to see and understand the roots of swimming. Number three, we got to celebrate. Because learning to swim is a human right, you see? And because it is a human right, and if you're unsure what a human right is, I'm going to tell you what it is. But because it is a human right, we have to teach everyone to learn how to swim. You see, a human right is defined by the United Nations as not just an opportunity, but also the protection for one's social and physical well-being, which means that what? Swimming is not just a mode of survival, but is a human right. Do you hear me, Bloomington? Yeah. So swimming is a what? Human right. Thank you. It also provides you an opportunity for personal and economic growth. Did you follow me, Bloomington? Okay. I just need to make sure y'all are awake. So, celebrate. That was the third call that I have for you. I want to challenge you to join me in celebrating International Water Safety Day on May 15th. Now, it's something sponsored by the International Water Safety Foundation, and they help start aquatic programs worldwide and also provide information about water safety guidelines. Can you join me? Yes. Can you join me? Yes. Thank you. Because that's the only way that we're going to be able to stamp out this drowning disparity. You see, my last thing for you, Bloomington, is that I need you to see people, we need to see people as just people. Because we need to see each other as humans. We have a relationship with each other. And when we're able to connect that way, that says a big lot. It's a big deal. As someone who was a collegiate swimmer and someone who swims now and someone who is a self-described mermaid, if you couldn't tell by the blue hair, it's really important that we take the initiatives to go ahead and stamp out the systemic and the systematic racism that we see in and around pool decks. We have to acknowledge the lack of diversity of people involved in aquatic activities. We have to rekindle our relationship with the water because water is our friend. Did you hear me? Yeah. Water is our friend. And most importantly, we need to remember what? Learning to swim is our human right. So thank you.